enhancing your speaking and listening skills.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Box. I'm Jack, and with me today is my amazing co host, Olivia.
Hi, Jack. Hello, everyone. Today, we're talking about something really important: how to speak English without hesitation.
That's right, many English learners struggle with hesitation when speaking. They pause too much, search for words, or get stuck because they're thinking in their native language first. This makes their speech sound less natural.
Exactly. Speaking smoothly and naturally is a big goal for many learners. But don't worry, in this episode, we'll share practical tips and exercises to help you reduce pauses and speak more fluently.
So if you've ever felt frustrated because your words don't come out fast enough, or you keep stopping while talking, stay with us. By the end of this episode, you'll have some powerful strategies to think faster, speak smoothly, and sound more confident in English.
Sounds exciting. Let's get started. Why do people hesitate while speaking English?
Before we talk about solutions, let's first understand why people hesitate so much when speaking English. What do you think are some common reasons?
There are several reasons. The first big one is lack of confidence. When people are unsure of their English skills, they hesitate because they're afraid of making mistakes.
Yes, and that fear slows them down. Instead of speaking naturally, they keep second guessing themselves. Their brain is constantly thinking, is this the right word? Am I making a mistake? And by the time they decide, the conversation has already moved forward.
Exactly. Another reason is vocabulary gaps. Sometimes learners don't know the exact word they need, so they stop and try to find it. This makes their speech sound unnatural and broken.
That's a big one. When your vocabulary is limited, your brain has to work extra hard to find words, and that creates more pauses. This is why expanding your vocabulary is so important. We'll share tips on that soon.
And let's not forget about overthinking. Many learners try to translate sentences from their native language into English while speaking. But since English and other languages have different structures, this slows them down and creates long pauses.
Yes, overthinking is a major fluency killer. Instead of speaking naturally, learners get stuck in their heads, trying to make every sentence perfect. But here's the truth: fluency is not about perfection, it's about flow.
That's such a good point. And finally, some pauses happen because of nervousness. When people feel nervous, especially in conversations with native speakers, they freeze and forget even the words they already know.
Oh, I see this all the time. When people feel pressured, their brains don't work as fast. That's why confidence building exercises are so important. And don't worry, we'll share some of those today.
So, to summarize, the four biggest reasons people pause while speaking English are: 1. Lack of confidence, 2. Vocabulary gaps, 3. Overthinking and translating, 4. Nervousness under pressure.
Now that we understand the problem, it's time to fix it. Let's move on to the techniques to reduce pauses and speak fluently. All right, Olivia, what's the first technique to reduce pauses?
One of the best techniques is thinking in English instead of translating. Many learners translate sentences in their heads before speaking, and that slows them down. Instead, they should train their brain to process thoughts directly in English.
That's a game changer. If you always translate from your native language, your brain has to do double the work. First forming the sentence in your language, then converting it to English. That takes time and creates pauses.
Exactly. A great way to practice thinking in English is to describe what you see around you in simple English. For example, if you're walking outside, you can think like that: the sun is shining, the weather is warm, I see a dog running.
That's a great tip. Another useful technique is using filler words. Now, some people think fillers are bad, but native speakers use them all the time to keep conversations flowing.
That's true. Filler words like, well, actually, give your brain a second to think without creating an awkward silence.
Another powerful technique is shadowing. Have you heard of this, Olivia?
Of course, shadowing means listening to a native speaker and repeating what they say immediately, like an echo. It forces you to speak quickly and smoothly without pausing.
Yes, you can do this with English podcasts, YouTube videos, or audiobooks. Just play a sentence, pause, and repeat it exactly the same way. Over time, your brain will get used to speaking without hesitation.
That's such a good exercise. And here's one more tip: don't aim for perfection. Many learners pause because they're afraid of making mistakes. But in real conversations, mistakes are okay.
Absolutely. The goal is to communicate, not to be perfect. If you can't remember a word, try explaining it in a different way instead of stopping completely. For example, if you forget the word refrigerator, you can say the machine that keeps food cold.
That's a great strategy. So, to recap, here are 4 techniques to reduce pauses and speak fluently. First, think in English, not your native language. Second, use filler words to keep the flow. Third, practice shadowing with native speakers. Fourth, don't aim for perfection, just keep speaking.
Wow, we covered a lot today. Let's quickly go over everything we learned.
People hesitate because they lack confidence, think in their native language, fear making mistakes, or don't have enough vocabulary.
And we shared techniques like thinking in English, using fillers, practicing shadowing, and focusing on communication rather than perfection.
If you apply these techniques regularly, your fluency will improve and you'll feel more confident while speaking English.
That's right. Keep practicing and don't be afraid to make mistakes. The more you speak, the better you'll get.
Thanks for joining us today. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to subscribe for more English learning tips.
See you next time.
I hope you enjoyed this conversation. If you'd like to improve your English even more, please subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends.